Aw, it's really never unexpected to hear animal sounds when you come across us. So you just
Right.
already know it, expect it, look forward to it, all of that. All of that. So, welcome, 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 everyone. If you're here with us live or if you're watching the playback, you are here with the Three Wise Pet Pros. And we here at the Three Wise Pet Pros, our goal is to educate and entertain pet parents on various topics of pet care. You never know what we're going to come with on a week to week basis, and that's why you need to never miss it. So, my name is Dr. Tanera. I'm the veterinarian of the group. One of the things we love about the Three Wise Pet Pros is that we come from a variety of backgrounds, just like our followers, and we all have something to bring to the table. We love it. So, again, I'm Dr. Tanera, and our other two pet pros that are here in the house are Miss Vetek Tony
Yay.
and Miss Nicole Cleaves. What? So we've got a Vet Tech Tony, and we've got an in-home boarder and longtime teacher teaching the kiddies. So what do we got today? Today we are going to discuss. We already talked about the fact that we don't consider Black History Month to be what it was originated to be. We know that we consider February to be an overflow month of all the excellence in the other months that Blacks have done for this country as we move forward. So, what we are doing here today is we're going to talk about some of the contributions that African Americans have made with pets in this country. Okay, we're talking about before the Three Wise Pet Pros, though, because we know, us, we, but others who led the way, paved the way, we give props and kudos to them. So let's see. I think we'll start with the teacher of the group today, and you know what? Actually, I'm going to make a little banner. Um, so that you guys all know what it is we're talking about. Contributions by Blacks in the pet industry. That's right. So, Miss Nicole, can you give us some nuggets? What's a nugget that we can learn about today?
Um, well, I thought it was interesting when can I talk about the first black male veterinarian?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting when I looked it up. I He was a teacher at first, and I'm like, okay. So he is originally from Trinidad, and he had a professional career as a teacher, and then he became a principal, and then he located to Venezuela where he was working as a clerk. When he went back to Trinidad, he found that there were not many opportunities um, for the pet industry, so he came to the United States. And his wife, who is from Antigua, introduced him to some of her friends, and they helped him enroll in Cornell University, where he started to study. He got a degree in agriculture, but when he went to Cornell, no, he got his degree in agriculture from Cornell, but then he decided to go to the University of Pennsylvania in vet school. He started teaching courses in veterinary medicine. So he was still a teacher at heart.
Ah,
And that resonates with me today because I had an interesting day, and I kept saying, if I quit this job today, how can I make a living? Because you know, today was not a rewarding day for me. And so this made me think. He This guy was a teacher, a principal, and he even taught. And as I'm looking up this information, I'm like, you can do whatever you want to do. You really
Yes.
can. So,
Yes.
yeah, he was in agriculture. All of that. I mean, it was just looking up this information was inspirational to me
That's
today.
what I'm
So,
talking
and
about.
that's what I needed for this Black History moment. And
Yes.
oh gosh, the site that I found it on is called Black Then. Like
Black
back,
men, like
yeah,
black in the day.
yeah, back
Okay.
in the day. Yeah. So that was, yeah. I was excited to find this. And then I decided to look for who the first Black female veterinarian was, and it was Tanara Kroon. So
Ah! You know what though? But let's give a little bit of chat back about Dr. Augustus Lushington. Like, how cool is that? First of all, he's got a cool name,
yeah,
Augustus Lushington. I mean, I don't know if that was his what name, where that name came from,
right.
but I mean, I think it's so exciting that that gave you life, that gave you something like that you weren't expected to feel that, and it's something that you're going through actively in your life, and now we find out that one of our ancestors has done something that you could do, and maybe even have more resources to do today, you know, without having to have as much fear,
Yeah,
because back then we had to fear for our very lives, which that's not to say that we don't still today,
right.
but it's not exactly the same. So that is so cool.
I thought about that because, this was in 1894, and I'm sure it had to be difficult for him during that time. Um, so just knowing the opportunities that we have now is we have more opportunities, and we, you know, still have things that we have to navigate, I should say, but I'm sure it was more in 1894 for him. So yeah, so maybe I'll pass it to Miss VetTech Tony if you're ready. If not, we'll just listen to this dog whine. You're muted. You're muted, Tony. Miss Tony. Tony, I cannot hear you.
It ain't even got nothing to do with my volume. It's because
Okay.
my mic is muted.
Okay.
That will make you not hear me.
Right.
But that's why I had it off, because of echo. So you know what? I am going to exit the screen.
And now I can't hear you, Tanir.
So hold that thought. Hey, how you doing? The US Pet Pros. Nobody said we had to have 3 boxes. 3 boxes on your screen.
So I'm that student that, we're like, your assignment is due tomorrow. And I'm like, I'll do it in the morning. So it was a busy day today. But I had found some information. I just didn't really get into the details of it to like itemize it and sound all professional, like Mrs. Why did I just forget your name? No, my mind is looped today. We'll talk about that another time as to why I can't like totally focus. But that being said, Miss Nicole, you sounded really good. That information that you just shared, I felt like that was like a little miniature essay.
It was. I was like, I don't have that much information on my topic, but that's okay.
It's just what teachers do.
Yep.
Yep.
You do.
So what I found important, not important, I found interesting was, we think about Booker T. Washington, and that he was a well-respected Black man. He was an educator. He was an author. And he had so many other positive benefits about himself that I'm scroll down to the wrong. when you go looking for information on Black History Month, it is a lot of information out there. It's just unfortunate that it's not as well known. But I scroll down to this other information I like. But with Booker T. Washington, here we go. He was also an advisor for presidents of the United States. That was important to me to share that as well. So that just kind of points out how respected that he was, because everybody just don't get to be up in the White House.
Advise it.
So, but what he did for our children, our youth, is that he formed a branch of Bands of Mercy with the Humane Youth Organization that was started by the American Humane Education Society and the Massachusetts SPCA, which we all are familiar with the SPCA. Out of all of that I just said, we know who the SPCA is. And these Bands of Mercy pledged kindness and justice to all living creatures. They held club meetings, they put on plays, they sang songs, they took photography excursions humanely, so going around taking pictures of animals. So, they also assisted in capturing wildlife to stop animal cruelty. You know, sometimes people would they abuse wild animals just for the fun of it, you know, whether they use them, like they still they do that now, even with our, like, you know, pit bulls and cats, and, you know, for that kind of cruelty with animal abuse. So that was a point that was interesting to me, that his heart, even though as busy as he was, he still had that soft heart for animals and children as well, to helping them learn and help our fur babies be safe.
Yeah. And you know what really strikes me about that information that you just gave us, Tony, is that I mean, while we're just struggling for rights of our own as Blacks, still finding that nugget within ourselves to help something that's even less fortunate, which is animals, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's just Black folk, I'll tell you that. Like, you know, I mean, we don't typically talk about ourselves as, you know, Black entrepreneurs and Black women regularly, because we know that pets are loved by all. But this is our topic, and we can be proud. We definitely are. I wouldn't want to be anything but Black. I'll say that. And so I'm just amazed at our ancestors. I want to throw it back to you, Ms. Nicole, because you had another person who was an important person that goes to something that you do in your, like, what you do, a person, JP.
She was like,
oh, wait a minute. Are you muted now? Oh.
I was thinking like, oh, are you about to observe me?
No.
like, no, I just needed Justin Parker. Okay, good. Yeah, so I Googled the first African American AKC dog show judge, and for anybody that knows about dog shows, and especially AKC, it can be very political. And so you gotta know who you know. You gotta rub shoulders. But when I Googled this, I found Dr. J.P. McCain, and in the 1930s, he had some nervous tension because he was in a medical practice. So he decided he was a collie breeder, and he started trying to get into showing dogs. So when I say rubbing shoulders, that's what he did. He started, you know, communicating with some of the judges, some of the other breeders, and they said that he was a very wise and generous mentor. I looked on a couple of sites, and they talked about how generous he was. Mm-hmm. That's just our people. You know, most of us love to give and give back to the community, and that's what he did. So he was highlighted in the AKC Gazette in 1933. And right before he passed away in 1957, he was awarded the Best in Show, which that's a notable title. So you have this black man who's it's the 1930s,
Right.
and he's doing this. That was inspirational to me because right now, you have people that say, okay, are you sure you want to get in the show? Are you sure you want to get into breeding? But just look, I feel like I had my Black History moment tonight.
Yeah.
Looking up my information and being prepared. And I'm just like, this is just a revelation for me and motivation. Now, I still have not graded papers because I need to do that, but
There is that.
I'm motivated.
Well, do you know what breed he won Best in Show with?
I believe it was the collie breed.
Collie?
Yeah.
Okay.
She pushed the chair up to move it, and I went to sit down. I'm like, I might have over exaggerated that a little bit, but I definitely was falling.
Woo! Okay. That is awesome to know because, American Kennel Club, like you said, very political and definitely not inclusive. And, even these days, well, I say these days, it's more inclusive, but maybe still not as inclusive. And which is, kind of causing some blacks to go off and like we always do, we create our own stuff. We create our own stuff. We give it the swag. And then we've got others knocking at our door like, can we come in? Sure. Okay. So I'm going to give the final piece of information tonight of things that we looked up and things that we were excited about. As a Black female veterinarian, I'm always really, really proud to know about our ancestors that paved the way and went to school and things like that. So there are two female Black veterinarians in the country that were the first ones to graduate from veterinary school. And they graduated the same year, 1949, but from two different areas. We have Dr. Alfreda Johnson Webb. She got her bachelor's from Tuskegee Institute, my alma mater. And I know, let's look on the wall here. Ooh, Tuskegee. And then she got her DVM from there as well. So very cool. Dr. Alfreda Johnson Webb. And then Dr. Jane Hinton. She was the second Black female veterinarian who also graduated that same year from the University of Pennsylvania. Now, you mentioned the University of Pennsylvania earlier as far as Dr. Lushington, I think. And that's cool. It's like I want to kind of look up more information on the University of Pennsylvania in that they were inclusive at that time, because where were they in the overall scheme of things? You had Tuskegee was Pennsylvania, the first other school that allowed. I mean, it seems like it. We got two veterinarians here from the first ones that graduated from there. So kudos to University of Pennsylvania. Kudos to Tuskegee Institute, which was later called Tuskegee School of Veterinary Medicine, and now most recently Tuskegee College of Veterinary Medicine, my alma mater. Dr. Jane Hinton, her father was Dr. William Augustus Hinton. He was a microbiologist, and he was the first African-American professor at Harvard. So there was she was gone somewhere, even her mom was a teacher and a social worker. So it's kind of like, I feel like myself, with my background, I got to do something positive and I've got to be successful. So, kudos to Dr. Johnson Webb and Dr. Jane Hinton, the first two female Black veterinarians in the country.
Yes. I wonder what number you are.
I am number 50,725 of Black veterinarian female in the country. Yep. So basically that's what we wanted to talk about today a little bit. Contributions. If you have any thoughts, you can feel free to put them in the chat, or even if you're watching the replay on this and you have some information, feel free to go ahead and put that in the chat below.
Yes,
wanna-
yes.
Thank you again let's go to comments. Robert Holmes, thank you for joining us. Katie
Thank
Wright,
you, Robert.
we love you.
Nicole had asked what year that was.
I think she said 1894 because she answered her own question.
Oh,
Yeah, 1894.
oh, question.
And then who's the Facebook user who said the dog can hear the whining? Unless, no, because Katie had her name.
My
in there.
dog can hear the whining dog. Oh, so whoever it is, their dog can hear that dog whine. They're probably like, where's it at? He's hurting. He's hurting
back.
feelings. Okay, Facebook user, if you don't mind sharing your name, we would like to know who you are.
Yeah, who are you? Facebook user who just said this was very informative, and you're welcome. Thank you for joining
Most
us.
definitely.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
What's your name? Is it Spirit Rider?
This is very. No, I think it's somebody. I don't know why I'm talking about. Let me see if I can figure out who it is before they put their name in the chat.
I know, like out of only 8 billion people, who could it be?
Right.
But yeah, if you can't put your name in the chat, Facebook user. Otherwise, do we have? You want to? Let's see. Nicole. You want to take us out?
Yes, I will take us out. This was very good. Like we always do, the Three Wise Pet Pros come through. We make it happen, Captain. Yes, and so this was good for us as well as our viewers. And so, like we say, we're here to educate and inform and engage. It was good.
It was. Even though I did my homework at the last minute.
I did too.
I mean,
They ain't making it no better. Hush.
I'm sorry. I was like, let me get on here. Let me okay.
Oh,
Kelly.
Kirsten.
Hey, Kelly Kirsting. That's my alma mater, my high school buddy, Kelly. I mean, we didn't know each other very well during high school, but now we're getting to know each other, and she's got a wonderful doggie. I can't remember.
That's the school with the polar bears. Is that correct?
Yes. Got a good memory. Preston Polar Bear. That's right.
Yeah.
We're the polar bears. I was a giant.
We were the rebels, like literally
Yeah,
during Black History Month. A white man with the white hat and a beard and a flag. We were. They finally changed it to the Wolverines a few years ago. Yeah.
I done gave Mayo a whole new name. I said Maori.
Oh,
I
okay.
said Mayo and Kaori.
It's kind of like Maori, the Maori people of New Zealand.
This is the whiner. This is Gigi. She's visiting until Saturday.
Hi, Gigi.
Sounds like you need to send a consent form so she can get some CBD.
Yeah.
And relax. She's just so
No,
cool.
she's just chilling.
Is she just crying though? Because some dogs do that. They just kind of like cry.
She just cries. Yeah, she just cries. I think when they forgot her food, and so they had to go home and get it and come back. And so when she saw her owner again, she started all over again.
That's just like dropping your kids off at the babysitter and be like, I can't go back in. I'm gonna leave it at the door because
Just
if they
put
see
it
me,
at the door.
to go.
Put it at the door, she'll be fine.
Yeah,
all right,
cute, Gigi. Kelly. All right, you guys, we're out of here.
All right, it was great.
It was great.
It's great to see you. Thank you guys for tuning in.
If you're watching this, #replay.
What she said.